Welcome back, everybody. It's great to be up here at the top deck in the Tinteán Theatre in Ballybunion, and tonight's a really exciting night for us. We've got a Radio Kerry country music night. This is our second one this year, and it's an absolute fantastic success. I suppose we've got the house is full down there, and they're going
it's
bananas.
Definitely rocking anyway.
Yeah. Cathy Durkin's out there right now, and they're just going a bit berserk. But we're delighted up on top deck to be joined tonight by the one and only Bernie Heaney. Welcome, Bernie.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
And you're not a stranger to Ballybunion, Bernie. You've been here before.
I have. I've done a couple of gigs here before, and the Radio Kerry night's always fantastic. I love being here in Ballybunion. Great crack.
Very good. And I know you're sitting alongside our chairman there, Jimmy Deanahan, and you were back the road last weekend in Fenugreek, and that was a huge success by all accounts.
It was lovely. There was a lot of ballads, a lot of just playing guitars, and just the audience singing back. It was absolutely gorgeous. So if you get to Fenugreek next year, anyone, I recommend going. It's brilliant.
Very
yeah,
cool.
Art exhibitions and songwriting contests. It was fantastic. So I enjoyed it. It was great.
Yeah, I see, Jimmy, when we were backstage earlier on there, I suppose we got a great insight to what was going on, and you were admiring Bernie's new guitar, so it's a real serious bit of kit, isn't it?
Oh, it is, but Bernie really didn't need a new guitar because she's such a great musician, but certainly it would help her in a big way. And Bernie she's a star already, but she's even a rising star. And she's really making major breakthrough across the whole country spectrum, and we were very fortunate to have her here in Ballybunion this weekend, and we had her in Fenugreek, and she was up in Larrican Pond. They love her here in Kerry. I know her husband, of course, is a big Beaufort connection, and they have a house in Kerry, so I can see you in the future spending a lot more time in Kerry. They have a potentially beautiful thatched house down in Beaufort, so she's going to become a Kerry woman.
We are officially claiming it.
But as you know, as I've often said, this is country music territory in a big way. It always has been, probably even more than maybe trad. Trad is very important here and very popular, but it has been country music since the 50s. And so that's why we can get 400 people here tonight for country music. And it's very, very popular here in Ballybunion, North Kerry, and West Limerick as well.
Yeah, it's well known, Jimmy, that you're a GA man, because I think there's 540 out there, and you're telling us there's 400.
Well, not totally no, but the car park is full, and they get 400 people midweek, this time of the year, where there are lots of other things on as well. And Ballybunion is not having a great season either, in the sense that the weather hasn't been favourable, but at the same time it's a very successful event. And Radio Kerry, they give it a lot of promotion, and we have some of the top country artists in the country here, of course, including Bernie, the big attraction.
Bernie, I suppose when we were just having a chat backstage, you told us about your recent trip to Nashville. Maybe you'll give us a bit of insight to that.
Yeah, I was in Nashville. I went with the John McNichol tour, actually. There was 2 busload of us went. I got to sing in a pub in Nashville, just the one beside Tootsie's. That was very, very good. And then I also got to sing with Tammy Wynette's band, so that was a big highlight. But I went shopping and I bought a new guitar, another one. So it's like shoes, you can't have enough guitars. It's a woman thing, I think.
We had the boys from Anora on there recently, and I bring them up in every podcast. And Dermot was saying he was living over in Nashville, and he reckons everyone and their dog can sing over there. What was it like being in the home country?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was alive. Every minute of the day was alive. Now, I went years ago, my children were small, so I couldn't really do the bars or the pubs or anything like that. But now they're up, and actually 2 of them were with me, and it was fantastic. It never sleeps. They say New York never sleeps, neither does Nashville. It was brilliant. Yeah, you've got to get over there if you haven't been.
That's the list.
Yeah.
But Bernie as well is very interested in Sean McCarthy, who's the great songwriter. He was born in the Stole, and then he spent the years of his life in Fenugreek, but she's recorded Shanna Golden and hopefully more of his songs as well now in the future. So that's a very important connection, and she's a big admirer too of Mickey McConnell's
Mickey, was here with us a few weeks ago actually. Mickey, he's a really talented man.
Yeah.
Bernie, would you tell us like how you got into the music maybe?
Well, I'll tell you how I got into it. My mum and dad were, my father was a steel guitar player. He sang around all the clubs and pubs in England. I'm from Kildare originally, but we moved over when I was small because Dad and Mum were working over there. So I used to be sitting at the bottom of the stage looking at my dad singing. My mother sang as well. So, really I was reared looking up at a stage, just looking up at country music. And then I got my first job in a GA club, St Finbarr's in Coventry, just because I used to stand outside and listen to the music. And the fella who owned the club says, come on in and collect a few glasses. So that was my first interview. So I got to see all the legends, Joe Dole and Daniel O'Donnell, them all, Louise Morrissey, they were all coming to this GA club in England, and I was able to see them and kind of say, can I come and go on your guitar? And my biggest claim to fame was meeting Louise when I was young and playing her guitar. And now actually we're really good friends, like we go shopping in Kildare Village, and so it's lovely. And the country music family is a family. It is a family here in Ireland. We all know everyone. Everyone knows everyone, and there's never a problem if you need to knock on the door for anything. They're all the same. So I got into it from a very young age.
You said about your claim to fame there, playing Louise's guitar. I think Declan Early's claim to fame tonight was playing your guitar.
I know.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, he did. I enjoyed jamming along with him there. He was and he was loving the guitar. Trouble is, if you buy a new guitar and you take it out in a green room, you might end up selling it the same night. But she'll hang on to it for a little while anyway.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Brilliant. I think we always try to get artists' opinion on the acoustics of our venue. Just we a few people have commented on it already. How do you find it in there?
Fabulous. What a fabulous sound in that theatre, and it's always fabulous. But I think there's a new system gone in, even a newer one from the last time I was here, isn't there? Yeah. So on soundcheck, it was absolutely fabulous. Can't wait to get out there tonight on stage. I'm delighted to be with Ryan Turner and the lads. You couldn't get better band than them either.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, Radio Kerry is such a great radio station for all the country artists. Billy, Dermot, they're all there, and they all support us. And it's great to do the same back now on a Kerry concert.
Radio Kerry seems to be a pivotal part of the country music sector across the country, because I suppose we're lucky with the internet and things like that, and we know people from other counties log into Radio Kerry, so it's a huge thing. But you can see it's testament to tonight, the crowd of people that we have out here.
Huge, absolutely huge. My son is 23. He's in Melbourne actually, and he has the Radio Kerry app, and he goes on and he does listening in, and so it's great. He's not too far away.
It's global.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, we're global.
Yeah, but next year we hope to have a big country music festival here during the summer in Ballybunion, just to bring people in. So do you think that's a good idea to have one?
Yeah.
We'll have it probably around maybe June or July, that time.
I think it's great.
Yeah, so we'd probably have the Nathan Carters, we'd have it probably for a week, and have country music going on around the town as well. So we hope to build on that, and hopefully Fort Island was supported with some funding.
It'll be great. That'll be great. Yeah, and when they get too hot, you can just jump in the sea.
Jump in the sea.
After dancing all day, nothing better, is it? Jump in the seaweed bath.
I was out swimming this morning, and it was just wonderful, exhilarating.
Yeah, and the seaweed baths are down there on the beach.
Oh,
they're lovely. Yeah.
Will you get a chance to go down there?
No, myself.
Rushing back?
Well, I'm rushing back tonight now, but myself and Kathy Durkin went down last year to the seaweed baths, and we had great crack. It was great. I have to say, we were lovely getting out.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Thank you so much, Bernie, and we hope to see you back in Ballybunion again very, very soon.
Please God, with the help of God. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the chat. It was lovely chatting to you.
So once again, we're joined upstairs in level 7 here in the Tinteán Theatre in Ballybunion by another country star, I suppose, one of our own, the one and only Ger Walsh. Ger, thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My first podcast. I'm very excited.
Very good. Very good.
We're taking your podcast virginity. That's what you're doing.
Absolutely, Dermot.
All right, okay. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, this is going to be the front of the Kerry, man. So, Ger, I suppose being the local artist and the local man, you must surely like find it strange and maybe even a bit difficult to go out in front of your own with a full theatre here tonight.
It's tough. It is tough. But as I said on the stage when I went out, you know, the least famous person in these shows always goes on first, and that was me, or the least established, we'll say. And I'm not famous, but yeah. But as I was saying earlier on, you know, when you get the first line of the first song out, the nerves are gone, and that's the biggest thing I fear, will be forgetting the first word of the song or the first line of the song. After that, you relax. You know,
I suppose everybody would tell you in whatever walk of life they work in, like to perform or do anything in front of your own is the most difficult of all. Where the likes of, you know, John and Kathy and Declan and all those that are down here, like it's a different audience for them, like.
It is, and you know, there's an old saying: a prophet is never recognised in his own land. So, you know, it can be tough. I had my fiance was in the audience, and her parents, and my mother was there, and my brother was there tonight. So I knew I had people in the audience, and that's a kind of a comfort as well, knowing that they're there, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, there was a lot of people here from Ballybunion as well tonight, which is great.
Yeah, it's great.
And look, it's a little bit daunting, but you relax after a few minutes. It's just fine after that.
So I suppose you're a public figure around the North Kerry area with your media work and stuff like that. But maybe give us a small bit of an insight into how you started off with the music.
I started off in the music. I was working in Dublin in the bank back in 1979, and I was sharing a house with a guy who played the guitar left-handed, upside down, a right-handed guitar upside down, left-handed, and he taught me how to play the guitar. And
Did he teach you upside down?
No, I turned it the other way. I turned it the other way. But it started from there. Then I joined a band in Dublin called Taylor's Twist as the lead singer and the guitar player. They were we were like a copy of Moving Hearts. We were kind of tread with a bit of rock thrown in. And it went from there. Then I went to the States for a while, and I was singing with a country band. That's where I got my love of country music. I was singing with a country band called Randy Keller and the Desperados, an 8-piece band with 4 Native Americans in it.
Wow.
In Oklahoma, and that was a fantastic experience. Then I came back, and one Christmas, Christmas of '85, Ronnie Ryan, well-known local musician, had a ballad group called Bo Janter, and his guitar player was leaving, and he invited me to play guitar. So I joined the band, and a couple of months later the bass player left, and I switched over to bass. I was with Ronnie for a total of about 19 years. We also had a country band called the Flash Cowboys. Then I went out on my own around 2000, and that's when I started playing in the railway, and I'm still there, thank God, touch wood, and long may I stay there. And then about 2004, I was working for Radio Kerry at this stage. A colleague of mine in Radio Kerry, Sean Crowley, wanted to put a wedding band on the road, and he wanted a singer. So I got the job, and I was with Sean and his wife Laura for 10 years. And then I got sick of the travelling, and we were doing weddings up in Wicklow and Kildare and Dublin, and I got sick of the travelling, and I went back on the road on my own again, and here I am.
Very good, very good. So I suppose, Dermot, you'd know Ger from around the town and things like that, and see his music career, and I suppose especially during the summertime, myself not a native of Ballybunion, but like he's really rocking the railway there at the weekends during the summer months, like.
Yeah, absolutely. And that what strikes me is my brother he lives in Korea, well, very very far away, and he gets home in the summer when he can, and we took him one night to the railway, and you were performing, and an experience was how he described it, just the railway itself, so. How do you find the railway as a place to play?
I love the railway because, you know, I'm there since 2000. Before that, I ran 2 pubs in Ballybunion myself. I've never mentioned that, but and I have people that I knew coming in to see me in the 2 pubs back in the 80s are still coming into the railway, you know, 40 odd years later. I love the railway. I know everybody in there, really. You know, I know all the summer people coming in and the locals, and I have a great relationship with John and Mary indeed, who own the railway, and as I said, I'm there since 2000, and hopefully I'll be there a lot longer than that, you know, while I'm still playing.
Yeah,
so.
you say 2000, and in my head I'm like, like 5 or 6 years, but that's a long time.
24 years, yeah, 24 years, yeah.
Time really flies.
So, absolutely.
So, Ger, I suppose outside of the music circuit, you'd seen a lot of changes in Ballybunion in the last 25 years, like.
Oh, I've seen huge changes. I mean, you know, like we've lost 6 pubs in the main street for starters in the last couple of years. Ballybunion is now down to 8 pubs. And I never thought I'd say this, but on Saturday night of the August weekend gone past, there weren't enough pubs in Ballybunion to hold the people. We couldn't get into a pub with the crowds and the whole lot. And it was just, you know, that's probably the biggest change I've seen, you know.
I suppose it's an issue even in Newcastle West, where I come from. I know that there was maybe 40 pubs there not that long ago, and now we're only down to 8 or 9 as well, and you think it's a much bigger town than Ballybunion, so it's an issue across the country really.
It is. I mean, look at the Stole had 52 pubs one time, one for every week of the year, and there's about a dozen now, or even less than that probably. That's the biggest biggest change I have seen. And then of course you've Irish people going abroad. Foreign holidays are much more affordable than they were in the 1970s. Of course, in Ballybunion. I mean, I grew up in Ballybunion in 1970s and 60s and 70s, and I remember come the 1st of May, my dad would take away our bikes, and he'd put them in my uncle's garage, and we weren't allowed on our bikes for the summer because it was simply too dangerous around the street with the number of people coming into Ballybunion, and it was such a different town back then. But look, hopefully it'll come back again. I don't like being the prophet of doom, and look, we've had a bad summer here, okay, but please God, everything will, you know, it goes in circles, I think.
I think there is some positives around Ballybunion at the moment. I know, like, there's the crowds are kind of different crowds in some ways. We have the arts festival going on. You know, we have the theatre is up and running, and you know, there's plenty of reasons to come to Ballybunion.
There is, of course.
So you know, when you establish that, people will come.
You see, even today on Radio Kerry, the local company here, headed up by Anthony Bennett, they've applied for planning permission to build 33 new houses in Ballybunion, and that shows a great confidence in the town of Ballybunion and the future of Ballybunion. So, you know, we want to get the word out there that Ballybunion will turn around and come back.
Ger, what do you think of, I suppose, the facility here in the Tinteán, and I suppose the asset that it is to the town of Ballybunion and North Kerry itself?
Oh, it's an amazing asset. I was delighted when the lads told me, you know, Greg and Padraig and Kevin and the lads told me that the place was being reopened, and they brought me up here for a chat, and we looked around, and I took a few photographs, and I did a big article on it in Ballybunion News, and you know, it's a fantastic facility to have in the town. In the winter, I've seen people coming to shows, and they're looking for a B&B and stay the night and go for dinner and go to the pub afterwards and stuff like that. But it's a fantastic facility, obviously. I mean, and the look you get on people's faces that haven't performed here before or even seen it before. I was talking to a few of the lads there now tonight, like Dave Lawler and that, and they hadn't played here before. And he said to me, "This is an amazing theatre." And I love boasting, you know. I said, we have 525 seats here, and there's only 350 in Sheemsay and Tralee. You know, we're the biggest theatre in Kerry after the INEC. And you know, I extol its virtues to everybody that I meet. And there's a lot of the country acts now. Mike Denver's another guy. When he came here 2 years ago, he couldn't believe what a fantastic facility it is. And you know it is. I mean, the auditorium, the stage, the new sound system that went in a couple of months ago, that sounded fantastic tonight.
It is.
It does. And you know, you have the dressing rooms, you have the showers, you have the bar, you have the shop downstairs. You know, where would you get it?
It has it. It has it all. And I see from myself and Jack's walkabout there earlier on, like the geography, like we cover down there tonight. We have people here from Galway tonight, and people from as far as Mizenhead. And we had people, well, they were here from Donegan, they're on their holidays, but the people from Galway and the people from Mizenhead came specially tonight for the show. And they're staying locally, they're spending a few bob, and it's good for the town, like. Yeah,
absolutely. It is, and you know, like some of the acts that were on tonight will draw people from everywhere, like the bigger names, you know, like Declan Nerney and Paddy O'Brien and these guys, they'll draw people from all over. You know, I mean, my fiance's parents were fantastic for dancing back about 8 or 10 years ago. They thought nothing of driving 100 miles to go and dance to their favourite band, you know. And that's the way it is with a lot of people. Especially this genre of music, especially people, you know, people have their favourites and they will follow them to the ends of the earth.
That's right.
You know,
That's
whereas if you were into rock music or some other kind of music, you mightn't think about driving 100 miles to see somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But this genre of music attracts people like that.
Yeah, there seems to be a real community around it. Like it's more.
It's like a big
more than
family.
Music. Yeah.
It is, and everybody knows everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Now I was lucky because I would be at the lower end of the scale, obviously playing in the pubs and stuff like that. But I was very fortunate that I worked for Radio Kerry for several years as a country music presenter, and I got to know every one of them. I think the only person in Irish country music that I never met, and it's a huge regret of mine because sadly he's no longer with us, was Big Tom. I never got to meet Big Tom, but I've met everybody else and interviewed them for Radio Kerry over the years, and I know a lot of them personally, and I would call a lot of them friends. You know.
Well, I can tell you that I met Big Tom on many an occasion.
Did you?
Big Tom was personal friends with my parents, and even landed down in the back door of our house when my mother was 50, unannounced. And I suppose to me that would be like Bono. I suppose landing to the house, because Big Tom was on a different level, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, he's the only one I never met, and it's a huge regret.
Yeah.
You know, because he was the grandfather of Irish country music. Yeah, like Declan Ernie was just saying tonight. He down in the green room, he said to me, "'Tis a long time ago." He said, "Since you got a photograph taken with me with my red guitar." He said, your band opened for me in the Atlantic Ballroom," he said, "during the Bachelor Festival."
Yeah. And I think there was a bit of a turn of the tide tonight down in the green room, because we were having a bit of fun and there was a bit of jamming going on, and Declan Ernie took your guitar tonight, and he was jamming on your guitar. That's so right. that was good fun.
That was the change for me, usually having his guitar. It was really and he was quite impressed with it as well.
He was. So a man of many hats and many colours, Ger Walsh, thank you so much for taking the time to come up to have a little chat with us here tonight, and the best of luck in the future. Thanks, Ger.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you very much.
Alright, and welcome to the Tinteán podcast.
Thank you.
My name is Dermot, this is Jack.
Hello.
And we are joined by Billy Donegan and Melanie O'Sullivan from Radio Kerry.
Lovely to be here at this hour of the night.
I know, yeah, absolutely. So we're just after a great show, and as you say, a long show, but we had a great crowd, and tonight went off very well. How did you find it?
It was great. All our shows are long. You know, that's
very long.
Just the nature of them, like, you know.
Yeah.
But the audience hold out. Like, nobody leaves before it's over, as you know yourself.
They were dancing away there at the end. They were having a good time. They were up and dancing. It was lively.
That's after 3.5 hours.
I know. Yeah. They really
so
keep the show on the road.
They do. Yeah. And we have a very loyal crowd. Like, they come back to the shows again and again, regardless of where we have them, even if it's either Tralee or Killarney.
Yeah.
They still come out.
Yeah. We keep the hoolie for last anyway, Billy.
Oh God, yes we do. Yes.
Yeah, we were talking earlier with a few acts, and one of the things that carries through seems to be the sense of community when it comes to country music. So do you find that you have this loyal crowd because they all feel a part of it more than just the enjoyment of the music?
Well, it starts with the music, that audience would have been kind of a dancing audience, we'd say 20 or 30 years ago when they started going out first. So like they have kept faith with the same type of music going along, except now they sit down to listen to it, obviously. And but they are the bands that they're looking at now. They were the bands that would have been dancing to 20 or 30 years ago. So like that's what we use as a starting point when we're booking bands, is that we'll have a certain amount of ones from the old dance band type of thing, as well as giving new acts a chance. Like we always have one or two or even three the newer acts, the younger acts as well, just to give them a break as well, much the same as we do on the radio.
Yeah, and to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
And how do you find this? As you say, you're essentially taking a radio show on the road. What was the first? When did you decide to do that first? What inspired that? And then how did you go about creating a radio experience?
Well, this type of show has been going, you know better than me, how many years?
So 2009, I think we started 2009, 2010, and we've basically been going since then, about 6 or 8 a year, I believe, isn't it?
Yes.
Certainly 6 shows a year, anyway. Different types of shows, but yeah.
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 It's only since about 2012 we started basing them on particular shows that we have on the radio.
Yes.
Like Timeless and Irish and the Sounds Country part of it. Like before that, they were just shows.
Just shows,
put together.
Yeah.
So we found it was better to be able to identify with this particular show that we have on. Like the Timeless and Irish show on Radio Kerry is a nostalgic thing. It's all the older music like and stuff like that. Whereas the Moriarty's country show is more up to date show like. So one strand is based on that, and then the other strand is based on my own show. But then we have 2 other strands. There's an Irish Rambling House strand, which we do in Shimsa, and Talks Us, which again is based on one of our shows in the thing. We found that basing on a show like gives it a better identity.
Of course, yeah, because they know they don't need to try to figure out what it is.
What
they
it
can
is.
turn on the radio and hear
what it is about, like, you know. So
I think the first show we ever had about 1,000 people when we started basically
Yeah,
on Timeless
that's
and
right.
Irish.
Yeah.
It's the hottest day of the year, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Packed like
It
sardines.
was, yeah.
Oh.
into the Brendan.
Into the Brandon.
Yeah.
No.
But crowds generally haven't that level of crowd isn't there now. Over the years, like it has changed, but not just for our shows. It has changed for all shows, like, you know. It's, and part of it is depending on the how popular the act is at any given time. Like that does make a difference, like, you know. So, but generally, like we normally have 8 acts.
Yeah.
You know, so we try and cover a big variety of people. People who will be coming here tonight, like they would have one or 2 particular acts that they're coming to see.
Yeah.
That's fine. So if you get 50 people coming to see each act, then that makes up a crowd.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and up to now we can't. You know, we're getting crowds. The shows make money. Well, we've never had a show that didn't make money, I don't think. So.
Long may that
Yeah.
continue.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. But like we put a lot of effort and a lot of time into them.
Yeah.
You know, and trying to make sure we get the bands and things like that, and we keep an eye on what's popular, you know, or something that people want, like, you know. So.
We're finding a lot of shows, a lot of artists we've been talking to, we haven't been doing this very long, but a lot of people are saying that it's hard to get audiences to shows in general. I don't know if there's a lot going on since COVID, everyone's gone mad putting on shows, or if it's people are feeling the pressure with money at the moment. You know, a lot of people, inflation is a big thing. So I imagine it's a number of factors.
It is, yeah.
But I suppose these things come in waves as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about shows that's generally at €30 plus. So like if there's a couple going out, that's double that, and then all the other things that we do will go out for a night. So like it isn't a cheap form of entertainment as such, like, and like there's a limit to how often in the year people will actually do that.
Yeah.
So they will pick and choose the shows that they want, obviously, like, you know. But COVID obviously had a bad effect on everything, and it has taken a while for it to recover. Kind of longer than most other things have taken to recover, like, you know, because especially with the age group that we're getting, you know, it took them a long time to actually decide to even go back out. You know, there are even some people that haven't gone back out, like they were going out all their lives, like, you know. So that definitely had a downward trend in it, but it's improving.
Improving, yeah.
It has, yeah. That's.
I think variety as well, as they say, is the spice of life. But I think the fact that there are lots of different acts on these shows means that you can get a much bigger cross section, as you said earlier on. Just you know, some people are coming for 2 different acts, and then others are coming for other acts and that. And I think that definitely has made a difference, or made it to us.
Oh yeah, it has like obviously that has an advantage over a single act show. Then like you might bring in an act that'll get in 150 or 200 people for you. If you want to try and get more, then obviously you have to give them more. Like I mean, I know there are acts around like who can draw 500 or 600 people, like, you know, but that has changed from what it was years ago. Like I remember back because I was in the dance band era. Playing in the bands, like, but like I remember playing in marquees like with 2,000 people inside them. You know, the idea of any band like getting 2,000 people into anywhere nowadays would just seem pie in the sky. But it was just a general thing that time. You know, I mean the thing going back in that time, we'll say back in the 60s and 70s, of the bigger bands. No, we were never one of the bigger bands. We were in between, in the middle. But like the bigger bands that time, you expected them to draw 2,000 people. If they started dropping below that, they were gone. You know, they were gone down. You know, that's the way I was looking at it. Like, if we didn't put 2,000 people into the band and all of a sudden, like, well, you had your day, like, that was it. And that was the way the show bands were wiped out, like, over the years. Like, they just weren't there to draw the big crowds like that anymore. But nowadays, like, a big crowd nowadays anywhere, like, it's about 400 people, I suppose. And like, like, that's considered 400 or 500 people is considered a good crowd. Where, like, going back 20 or 30 years ago, you had to be able to draw 2,000 people, like, you know. So you can imagine what 2,000 people inside the marquee is. It's a 6-pole marquee actually to get to. It's an 8-pole marquee to get 2,000, because that's the way we used to judge it at the time. The number of poles that was in. So there was 250 people for every pole as it went down along. So you had an 8-pole marquee like for that. And they were all over the country at the time. Like, I mean, every little village put up their own marquee, you know, and had their 2 weeks of dancing in the summertime, like, you know. That's like the facilities there were absolutely.
It'd be like Pattern Day in Ballybunion next week. Dancing in the streets.
Yeah, you know. But I mean, at one time Ballybunion had 3 ballrooms, and they were all putting in maybe 1,500 people each.
I remember.
Yeah, and that was 4,500 people dancing in Ballybunion on one night, and it wasn't one night; it was 5 and 6 nights a week. You know, there was Hortons, the Central, and the Hibernian, the 3 of them. Huge big. But that's Hortons. I always call it Hortons, but it was the Atlantic.
Atlantic,
But like each of them had huge big ballrooms, like which were basically just big sheds, which were, you know, where people could dance. But that time, like you would. How would you see anything like that now?
Yeah, we get excited about 400 or 500 people coming to Ballybunion to come see a show.
It's great though. That's
it is.
But
and
it's a phenomenal facility. Like, Tinteán is a fantastic facility.
We're very happy with it. A lot of the acts are comment on the acoustics in particular, and we've put in a new sound system which we're happy with. So.
The new sound system is fantastic. You know, and it's the way the place is designed for acoustics, because like even when you're up on the stage, everybody is only a certain distance away from you. You know, like in a 500-seater venue that would be just straight on and didn't have tiered seating, they'd be an awful distance away from you to the back wall. Whereas here, because they're all around you, it creates a much better atmosphere, like, you know, for the audience and for the person up on the stage as well, like, you know, they feel that they're right there next to them, you know, rather than having to get it.
That sounds familiar. Brizzy was basically saying the same thing. We had Brizzy on there lately, and he was talking about the acoustics in the room, and he was saying that it was not going too long. Going for the weight, and that's it.
The height there. Immediate feedback then from the audience.
That's what you need.
Oh, that's great. Really good.
Brilliant. Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's about it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure to have you, and thank you for being so kind with your time. We know it's very late. We're definitely going to see you here again. So.
You will, yes.
We're booked for next year already.